You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
Hi, I'm Kristen Chenoweth. When many servicemen and women return home, they carry with them the invisible wounds of war. But thanks to the life-saving power of the human-animal bond, professionally trained service dogs can help. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program, which provides specially trained service dogs free of charge to veterans in need. Let's help our veterans heal from the invisible wounds of war.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Crimes against humanity. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The International Criminal Court issues arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. They're accused of starving and intentionally directing attacks against civilians during the war against Hamas militants in Gaza. Oklahoma Senate Republican James Lankford on Fox.
This is another reason why the United States is not a party to the International Criminal Court. Neither is Israel, because this random court just tries to step in and take over sovereignty.
An arrest warrant is also issued for a Hamas official Israel says died in an airstrike in July. Netanyahu calls the warrants anti-Semitic. Ukraine's military accuses Russia of firing an intercontinental ballistic missile at the city of Dnipro.
It would be the first time since this war began that such a large weapon was used in the conflict. ICBMs can carry nuclear warheads. The Russians have not publicly commented on that strike that injured 2 people. The escalation comes as Ukrainian forces are now targeting deeper into Russia using U.S. and British-supplied long-range missiles.
Fox's Trey Yingst. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance is arranging more meetings for Trump administration nominees with senators who will vote on their confirmation.
At Capitol Hill again this morning, Pete Hegseth is in Washington, D.C. Hegseth is Trump's pick to lead the Department of Defense and is having meetings with Republican senators today. Those meetings come as a 44-year-old veteran faces questions about his confirmation after a past sexual assault allegation that he has denied. Senator Josh Hawley telling Fox News he's going to vote to pass all of Trump's picks.
I would just say to my Senate colleagues, listen, let these guys testify. Give them a shot. I know some of these Senate GOP folks are saying, oh, I've got concerns. That's what a hearing is for. Don't go out and bash these people until you've at least allowed them to make their case.
And Hegseth will get his shot, and we're told he's ready to go.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. The Monterey, California police report about an accusation against Hesketh in 2017 is now public. America's listening to Fox News.
I know it's hard to believe, but Christmas is right around the corner. And if you're thinking about what gift to get the firearms enthusiast that may be on your list this year, I highly recommend. I love this company. The rifles, the shotguns, the revolvers, made right here in America by our friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, they've got 200 models to choose from, a wide variety of calibers and styles and prices, and you cannot go wrong with any of them. They're a great company. The easiest way to check out Henry's Firearms is to get a copy of their free holiday gift guide. Just go to their website. It's henryusa.com. Click on the catalog button in the top right-hand corner. They will mail the gift guide and a few decals, and it won't cost you a penny. So if you want to put something made in America under your Christmas tree, make sure you order the free gift guide and get free decals from Henry USA today. That's henryusa.com. For a free gift guide and decals, henryusa.com. You're going to love this company.
Get ready for something fresh and exciting with the Josh Guillory Show. Josh Guillory brings a new perspective to the airwaves, analyzing news and issues coming out of Baton Rouge in Washington, D.C., and breaking down how they affect you. Engaging, raw, and informative, Guillory knows how to have fun while delivering the latest in politics and current events. With daily features that entertain and inform, you won't want to miss a single episode. The Josh Guillory Show, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, only on News Talk 96.5, KPEL.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
What's in his backpack? He's about to fall over.
Anything he might need. There's a box of tissues and Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
You don't have to be perfect.
Have a great day.
That's too much pressure.
Have the day you have.
To be a perfect parent.
There are 2 people who want you more than anything. They'll make mistakes, but they will love you more than you can imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, y'all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show on a Friday Eve. Great to be with you. Always great to be with you. Beautiful day. Boy, just gorgeous. 44 degrees, 43 degrees where we were today. It was nice. God, it was nice. Loved every second. I like the hot weather, too, though. But it's kind of nice when the first really cold front comes in and cools everything down, makes it awful nice. Anyway, great to be with you as we go through another day of fun. And, of course, always fun to be with you. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. And, yes, Cane River Pecan giveaway starts now. You can email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Say you want to win Cane River Pecans. I'm going to give some away at the end of the program, at the end of the second hour today. We go 3 hours, but at the end of the second hour. So if you want to win, or people have been winning, they've been already emailing me saying, man, I won. Them things were awesome. And they will be awesome. And don't forget, Cane River Pecan does gifting. Oh, you can go buy pecans anytime you want to from them. But, boy, if you like to gift to your customers, and all you got to do is make a phone call and write the check or send a card, and they do everything else. Send them the addresses and the companies you want, and you don't have to touch anything. So he does for me. I go through a list every year, throw some out, add some, depending on who advertised for the year. And it's just so easy to work with Cane River Pecan. It's just easy, simple. J.D. Regarding have made this so easy to gift your customers, folks. Just if you owe it to yourself, CaneRiverPecan.com, CaneRiverPecan.com. Yes, you can just order pecans. You can get all that, but there's so much more. And by the way, they have a catalog on the site, and they also will send you a catalog if you ask for it. So, hey, all cool. All righty, today could be the last day of the special session. Now, when I say this, y'all going to think, oh, he's making it up. No. I'm going to tell y'all why today could be the last day. And I don't make up stuff on it. I have fun on this program, and this is one of them lines that I got from several people. And I've been laughing at it all night today, so I thought I'd share with my audience. I love sharing stuff with you guys. And ladies and gents, I do. So the reason the session's supposed to go to Monday, but they're going to probably try to end it today, and I'm not making this up, is because Cameron Half-Ass Henry has a goose hunt tomorrow. What you laughing at, Walker? He's got a goose hunt. The state business is that he got a goose hunt. The man's going on a goose hunt tomorrow. Now, if the man's going on a goose hunt, this mess we talking about with taxes, that got it. I got to get that out the way. Got a goose hunt. Cameron Half-Ass Henry's got a goose hunt. I'm not. Oh, come on, man. I've heard everything. He's got a goose hunt lined up tomorrow. That's a true story. I got this from people close to him. He wants to be a good. So I thought they were going to end it Friday. I keep hearing they were going to end it Friday, which is tomorrow for you people in Balkanville. But Cameron Henry has a goose hunt tomorrow, and he wants them out so he can go to his goose hunt. I mean, what's wrong with that? Look, none of them wanted to be there for Thanksgiving week anyway. A lot of people go on vacation, a lot of hunting going on. But Cameron himself, and he's a Senate president, as you know, he's powerful. And since a powerful man like him, a man like powerful Wizard of Oz, Cameron Henry got to go on his goose hunt tomorrow. So if it ends today, realize we're going to save a little money because we'll have to pay the legislators through Monday. But I don't think they're doing it because they need the money. I do think they're doing it because Cameron Henry has a goose hunt. I wish I could make stuff up like that. I ain't that creative. So Cameron, the Senate president, has a goose hunt. I'm just letting you know, if it ends today, Cameron had a goose hunt, and he just, he just knows he's got to make that goose hunt. I mean, that's more important than anything we do in the state of Louisiana, like tax reform. So anyway, all right, the word is basically what they're doing. This kind of puts a few people in a bind, conservative Republicans especially. Looks like they're going to put the tax cuts and the tax increases in one bill. So you got to vote for an income tax cut and a sales tax hike in one bill. So if you vote against the bill, they're going to say, well, so-and-so voted against the income tax cut. On the flip side, if you vote for it, they're going to say, so-and-so voted to raise sales taxes. I don't like bills like that, but that's probably what's going to take place. I will say what I'm going to say. Kudos to Landry for trying to do something. The two things, one thing is they're supposed to vote on a limit, on spending limit, which Brett Guyman, people like that, I know Dan Yershbaum has talked about it, not to spend but a certain amount of money. That's it. But there's a couple other issues. Just a couple of things. Number one, there will be, and don't listen to anybody, and I'm not going to lie to you, I think for it to be really big tax reform, it has to have spending cuts. There is no government spending cuts. All you people worried about that, don't worry about it. The government's being well protected in the bill. They get mad at me if they want to. That's just a fact. There is no spending cuts. No real meaningful spending cuts at all. Okay? And then the third thing is, except for the business community, inventory. Well, we'll see what happens with the inventory tax. But there's a few taxes in there, franchise taxes, stuff like that will be lowered, not done away with. And that's good. But when it comes to personal taxes, it's a tax swap. It's just a tax swap. The Staley bill lowered income taxes and gave us income tax increases. This is going to lower income tax and give us sales tax increases. And I can't tell you if it's a tax. I was told last night by several people, well, there'll be a tax break. Ain't going to be a big tax break. You see it in your income, like people that, get paid working for employers. I won't ever see it because I pay quarterly taxes. But I'm just telling you, it's a tax swap. Tax cuts are always better than tax swaps. If you cut one of that, if you take 20 out of my right pocket, okay, and put it in my left pocket, I still got the same $20. I'm just doing it a different way. That's fine. That's fine. Everybody says we can do this. Okay, and here's the big one. Because when they come out, they're gonna claim this is a big victory. I think it is a victory, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Somebody a while ago told me it's a skip. Instead of a step in the right, we skipped. And maybe that's good. And I think that's a good thing. Okay, let's say I say Landry wins and the state wins. Let's say I call that right now. We win. Okay. What's step 2? When does step 2 take place? When does step 3 take place? When does step 4 take place? Because a step in the right direction takes a lot of steps before you can get to where you need to be. When do we get to those other steps? When are we going to move it? Years ago on the Bell, maybe 3 years ago, they were bragging we had tort reform, and I told y'all it was nothing, step in the right direction, did nothing. And they said, well, it's just a little step. We got to do a lot more, but they didn't do anything else. So my fear is it stops here. Everybody praise, high five each other. We change the tax code. Businesses are going to start coming. And I'm telling you, this is a step in the right direction, which if you're a politician, you're an elected official, that's good. Okay, that's good. It's nothing wrong with that. That's why people holler step in the right direction, because they want to be able to go claim victory and say they won, and that's good. Nothing wrong with that. What's the next step? When are we taking the next step? Because when I talk to the elected official out of North Carolina, every year, they were vigilant. They were demanding that they did something over and over and over again. And 12 years later, they're still doing stuff. Okay? They're still doing stuff. Does it stop our migration? No. Is it going to make businesses poor in here? I don't see why a company would leave Texas to come here because we, quote, took a step in the right direction. Oh, there's going to be some announcement on some jobs. That always happens. But they claim victory, and I'm not getting in their way. Go claim victory and run around and high five. And I'm already moved on to the next step because I know this is going to be a step in the right direction. And I have Daniel Ershpaum and some elected officials. And governor will come on too. I've talked to the governor during the process. He'll come on and he'll talk about it. But when I say spending cuts, I just wish they'd quit saying they cut $2 billion budget. I just don't think that's right, and I don't think they ought to say that because it's not right. Now, if they said we got $2 billion less in the budget, I won't argue with that. We still have lawsuit reform. We still got to deal with these trial lawyers that are eating our lunch. We still got to deal with insurance problems. I mean, I said the worst thing we could hear is step in the right direction, but that's probably what we're going to hear. So I'm going to go with it. That's fine. All for it. We're going to move up on policy stuff. That's fine. I have no problem with none of that stuff. That's great. That's way bigger than what Bell Edwards did. Bell Edwards ran a totally opposite way. Bell Edwards would run to the left and the far left and to the crazy left the whole 8 years he was there, and he hurt us. That's why a step in the right direction don't get you there unless you keep doing it. Unless you come back with something next year and the year after that and the year after that, and you keep dwindling down where you really want to go. So I'm curious to see when the event's over today because Cameron Henry, half-ass Henry, got a goose hunt he got to go to. And we don't want Cameron to mess up his goose hunt. I mean, y'all understand? This man has a goose hunt to go to. We got to get out of this session because a goose hunt's right around the corner. And I'm glad for the elected officials they'll get done because, Thanksgiving next week, who wants to deal with this next week? Nobody does. I get it. I'm glad for them. They're going to get out of there. Curious to see what comes out of the mouth of everybody involved in the special session. I'm just curious. Is it going to be something that, like I said, I hope we can jump up and down, but I know this. I'm already moved on and looking for step number 2. And then I'm going to be looking for step number 3. And if we're not willing to go do these rest of these steps, then I don't think anybody ought to jump up and down. What's the next step? When will we do it? Will we see it in the session? Do we have to call another special session? Those things are important, folks. And I've been doing this a long time. I watched it. Anyway, look, if you want to win the pecans, it's moongriffon.com. I've been a lot of people want to win all over the state of Louisiana and outside the state. And make sure you put your address. If you don't put your address, if you win, let the computer pick another one. It's just don't have enough time to get in touch with you. But if you win, you're going to be glad you did. All right, we got to take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could? Protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases. Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Exterminating.
Get the Shield.
Yeah. It's gumbo season. This year, I want you to try some Ragin' Cajun authentic roux and let Ragin' Cajun roux do the hard work for you. Using just 2 simple ingredients. Ragin' Cajun roux, a slow cook for 6 hours for the perfect dark and rich tasting gumbo. You can find Ragin' Cajun roux and Ragin' Cajun original Cajun seasoning in all your favorite grocery stores today. Folks, ask them for that Ragin' Cajun. Try all your great Ragin' Cajun products. Ask for them by name in the grocery store. Ragin' Cajuns, folks. This food is great.
Support local.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a day. Great day to be with you. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Cane River Pecan giveaway. We're probably going to throw in some soon. I got to talk to them again. Cajun, Ragin' Cajun seasoning. I know they want to give away some stuff this time of year. So got to get in touch with my friends at Ragin' Cajun seasoning. It'll be another big giveaway for y'all as we make progress toward Thanksgiving and Christmas. Hard to believe, a week away. Wow. Picked up a ham yesterday. So hard to believe it's that close, folks. So I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna just say I'm gonna be happy for the governor and happy for everybody if they really feel like we've made a move in the right direction. Now it's got to get it out there. But, you know, you're still going to have, do we compete with other states? I know on one of the policy groups, we're going to move way up. I get it. No problem. But people know the history of Louisiana. Like I said, Jeff really inherited this from Bill Edwards and from Edwin Edwards. And it's tough. The different, I mean, it's not a different. Bill got his 1 cent, and Jeff's going to get a 1 cent too. Edwards did it. He said to plug up a massive deficit when there was never a massive deficit. Landry's going to cut the income tax down somewhat, and people are going to see. You will see, if they pass this, you will see a difference in your paycheck if you're working for somebody. And then when you go buy things, your sales tax is going to be higher. We'll have by far the highest sales tax in the country now. Putting the sales tax and the income tax cut on the same bill forces people to make a decision. Okay? Corporations will get the biggest boom out of this, no doubt. It won't be us. Corporations will. You know, if you're getting $30 back a month or whatever, then how much do you send out on the sales tax? But you get to decide if you want to spend it or not. Curious to see if they're making these taxes permanent. That's what I'm curious to see. Louisiana, the average sales tax across Louisiana will be 10.06. The closest one to us doesn't have an income tax is 9.55 according to Tax Foundation. Will be 0.51 higher than the one closest to us. Corporate taxes will go down. Repeal of the corporate franchise taxes, all that's important. Now, one other thing to remember about this, there's a proposed constitutional amendment we have to go vote on. And it includes a $2,000 pay raise for teachers. Also deals with the inventory tax. So here's the thing that gets me, the biggest thing that gets me mad is we keep saying that how to replace the lost revenue. What about the lost revenue to us and called insurance? What about the lost revenue to you and me that's called inflation? How come we don't ever get to well, how does the middle class people get to work? And I'm very middle class. That's what we're so in tune to making sure. And in this bill, government still wins because government's getting this. Government is going to get this. Government will not be hurting. That's the one thing I can promise you. Government is going to win. Now, I'm curious to see how the Democrats vote on this, too. Anyway, when we get back, Dr. Kevin Roberts, he wrote a new book on saving America. We're going to visit with him for a couple segments. He heads up the Heritage Foundation. He's a Louisiana boy. Take a break. Be right back. With 5 Louisiana locations, I always make it a point to visit Superior Grill when I'm traveling in the great state of Louisiana. I love the food there. It's authentic Mexican food with a Louisiana twist. Their menu has all your favorites: nachos, quesadillas, enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, hand-cut steaks, and the best margaritas in the state. You can go to Superior for lunch or dinner, and folks, you're going to thank me for it. My lovely bride and I eat at Superior Grill every chance we get. They're on Line Avenue in Shreveport, Government Street and Highland Road in Baton Rouge, St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans, and on College Saloon in Lafayette. I'm talking great food, great service, and great margaritas. The best Mexican food with a Louisiana twist is found at Superior Grill, Shreveport on Line Avenue, Baton Rouge on Government Street and Highland Road, New Orleans on St. Charles Avenue, and College Saloon in Lafayette. This is Moon Griffon. I'll see you at Superior Grill. This is Moon Griffon. My good buddy Jeff and the folks at Hudco Roofing and Exteriors is Louisiana's premier professional roofing contractor, specializing in residential roofing services. Remember, your roof protects everything, you and your family, and most of your possessions. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks aren't just your average roofers. They're the #1 roofing company in the state. Whether you need a repair or brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there are no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state-certified installer of the Fortified Roofing System, and that's a big deal. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. Go to HudcoRoofing.com for quality workmanship, premium products, and unparalleled customer service. This is Moon Griffon. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so should you. HudcoRoofing.com. That's HudcoRoofing.com. Champagne's marketing.
The Black and Gold are back, and we've got your free tickets for every New Orleans home game this fall. It's the ultimate Who Dat experience powered by Jamie Parker, your trusted personal injury attorney in Lafayette. To win, just open up our station app, put your finger on Who Dat, and sign in to win free tickets for home game. You'll also get an exclusive invitation to the special VIP tailgate party at Benson Tower that includes food and drinks before the game. When the Black and Gold are on the road, Legend steps up with 10 burgers, 10 wraps, chips, and drinks for you to enjoy. We'll announce our ticket winners during a live Bring in the Weekend party at a Legends location near you. So get signed in to win right now. Open up the app, put your finger on Who Dat, and good luck. And remember, if you have been injured in an accident, turn to Jamie Partner, your trusted personal injury attorney in Lafayette. Specializing in personal injury and wrongful death cases, visit JamieParkerLawLA.com, LA 2417591. We want you to be in that number every time the Black and Gold take on the field. It's the ultimate Who Dat experience. Enter to win right now, and good luck. Non-attorney paid announcer.
Looking for uncommon talent? Meet the Grads of Life. They're not the typical candidates you're used to, but they're exactly who your company needs. An ideal fit for entry-level positions, internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champagnes, located in the Oil Center. Champagnes, going the extra mile.
Hey, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is great to be with you. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, Cane River Pecan Giveaway. What else can we do today? Having a good time. All right, it is an honor to have Dr. Kevin Roberts back from the Heritage Foundation. He wrote a book, Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America. Dr. Roberts, how you doing, brother?
Moon, my friend, I'm doing great. It's always great when I'm talking to you.
You know, I had the day of the election, or the day before, I can't remember when you were on, but I had you on. I had Mike Johnson on. I had it was unbelievable the people we had on, and Tony Perkins. So I mean, you good friends with all them. Had all three of y'all on the same day, and all y'all said what happened in the election would happen. You especially said this thing's going to be bigger than you think. And boy, I tell you what, you called it, hit it right. We're going to get to the book, but I just want to get your comment real quick.
Well, I don't exist to say I told you so. I know you were optimistic too, but I will say that I called the Electoral College vote precisely. In fact, I had a group of pollsters at Heritage earlier in the summer, and I said, Trump's going to win this thing. He's going to have more than 300 electoral votes. And they literally scoffed at me. And I said, this is why your industry is dying, and this is why you're a bunch of swamp creatures, and this is why whenever we do win, we're going to put pedal to the metal to take this country back. And that's where we are now, Moon. We've got to understand that winning an election is one thing, but the hard work is actually governing, and obviously that's what we're focused on.
Yeah, and Republicans can tell people sometimes they can't make a ham sandwich with a piece of bread and a piece of ham. Don't give them no mustard, Dr. Robert. That'll really mess it up. But I'm hoping with Trump's leadership that since he knows where the dead bodies are, he knows what to expect, he knows what's coming, he knows the right people to put in place. I think that's going to be a good thing. Mike Johnson's going to hold on to his speakership, even though it's still tight. And then the Senate president, last question on this, does Thune worry you, or you think he'll work with President Trump?
Well, he worries me. Nothing personal against him, but if you look at his record of voting, say you judge him by the Heritage Action scorecard, he's got one of the lowest rankings of Republican senators in the conference. Yeah. But the thing that gives me some cautious optimism is that the popular clear, and President Trump is clearly using his political capital. And if that happens, then I think we can keep Thune focused on the prize, which is to get those cabinet appointees confirmed and then to start implementing conservative policy. We just announced, even as I was coming on air with you, that Heritage and Heritage Action will be spending $1 million in the next 2 months to help get those appointees confirmed, and we're focused on the 9 kind of wobbly Senate Republicans. And I think that will help Thune understand that there's real popular will for him standing up and being conservative.
Do you think he has any problems with any of them getting across the finish line?
Well, I'll tell you something The toughest one is going to be Matt Gaetz, the appointee, the Attorney General. J.D. Vance was in the Senate yesterday with him, and, inside baseball talk is that a lot of those conversations went well. The swamp hates the Gaetz pick because Gaetz represents the mandate for disruption that Trump has. I think after Gaetz, maybe RFK were really involved with him as well. We love the ideas that he's bringing to the table, and he's going to get some fair questions about where he is on the life issue that matters to you and me and your audience. I do think he's going to surround himself with some good men and women who are stalwart pro-lifers, and I think he gets across the finish line.
Yeah, Jeff Correa wrote a great piece down here. He said Trump needs Gaetz. He needs a good wingman, because look who Obama had and look who Biden had, and those guys were detrimental in everything. So he does need a good wingman, and this may be an important pick. Let's get to the book, though. Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America. Talk about a little bit about the book, how people can get the book, and things of that nature.
Well, you and I have talked over the years, and we always talk about current events and faith and our shared love for early American history, which I've spent quite a bit of time studying, as you know. And so what I try to do with this book was explain why I'm optimistic about the American future, hence its title, Dawn's Early Light, just like Francis Scott Key was optimistic about the American future after Fort McHenry withstood the British attack in 1814. It's a battle plan, ultimately, Moon, not just for what we do with federal policy and state policy, but very importantly, as you emphasize on your show, what we do in our daily lives, in our families, and building our communities. I actually talk about my upbringing during the oil bust in Lafayette and Opelousas, where both my parents are from, and anyone listening to you across Louisiana, the Gulf Coast, I think would appreciate that, because we can all remember those dark economic times of the early 1980s and how our region over the last couple of decades has diversified economically. But the one thing that has not changed that was so important to my upbringing is faith, family, and a deep love for this country. I believe Trump's victory tells us that in 2024, we can enter a golden era of America if we're willing to go seize it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. First of all, before we get back to the book, how can people get the book? Is there a certain place, or you can get it everywhere?
Any local bookstore, but it's everywhere. In fact, we just got news yesterday that it's on the USA Today bestseller list, so It's everywhere. You can find a good book.
If you had to delve into it just a little bit more, what are some details? Maybe you may not can think about some things that people don't even think about sometimes, but don't even realize, because I don't think everybody's history buffs. I don't think we go back, and I do history, but not as deep as you do. So I'm sure there's going to be some things in there that people just don't know.
Well, two quick things. The first is that in the American Revolution, which is my specialty as a historian, it was touch and go, even in the weeks leading up to the Battle of Yorktown, which was the decisive victory for the Americans. And I use that to explain to Americans that every generation's got to fight for our freedom. We've got to fight for keeping the government in check. And we ought not be discouraged by all of the challenges we have in this country. Instead, we ought to take them as opportunities for us to improve. But the second thing, which is the real focus of the book, Boone, is I use this concept of a controlled burn that the Forest Service used to do, where they would burn on purpose the dead wood in a forest to regenerate the healthy nature of the forest and allow the big trees to get even bigger. I use that metaphor to apply to our institutions, our churches, the Boy Scouts of America, our schools, our universities, and this is what I say, that in addition to policy work in Baton Rouge and in Washington and in your parish seat, we also, even more importantly, have to be focused on rebuilding the institutions that actually keep the government in check. In other words, the way you make Washington less important is by making your local community and your family and your church that much more important in your lives. We ought not let politics become our religion.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because how important, government's important, but it ought to be the least important thing that we have. It looks like we took the train of morals and economics and all the stuff that goes together, the economic train, the moral train, there was everything that was in the front. The caboose used to be last. Look like now the caboose is forward. We got the engines of doing right trying to push the caboose. It doesn't go well. So how big was government really supposed to be?
Well, it should be about a quarter of the size that it is. There are about 2.5 million federal employees right now.
Wow.
And over the next 10 to 20 years, if we're going to be successful in dismantling the administrative state, I think we cut that in half. And you can do that certainly very constitutionally, legally, and ethically by not filling vacancies, by giving people incentives for early retirement. In other words, Trump has really put his finger on the solution, and it's personified by what Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk will be doing with government efficiency, and that's looking for all of these opportunities to make government more efficient, to make it a lot smaller. All of our founders would have been horrified, or would be horrified, if they were alive today looking at the size and scope of government. And for them, it wouldn't even be so much whether it's liberal or conservative. They would just say, people, you missed the point. Yep. You're supposed to not let the caboose be running the train, to the metaphor that you use, Moon, and that's what we've allowed to happen.
Oh, no doubt. In Louisiana, it's really bad like that, but the federal government has really overcome what we've done. Hey, let me take a break. I'll come back and do a few more minutes. I'll let you get out of here.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. His name is Dr. Kevin Roberts. The book, Dawn Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America. You can find it in your bookstores. You can order it online. Let's take a break. We'll be back. You're listening to The Moon Griffon Show. I've been telling you about Schumacher Homes for a long time. Now, for a limited time, you can choose from 5 different financing offers and pick one that works best for you. Whether you're an active duty, military, or veteran, you can take advantage of the exclusive VA construction loan offer. You can lock in 30-year fixed financing for as low as 3.875. How about that? Looking to stay in your home and start construction right away? A stay-in-your-home loan might be right for you. With this option, you can stay in your home during construction and not worry about moving twice. And for you first-time home buyers, we're not going to forget you. For a limited time, they're offering 30-year fixed financing as low as 3.875. Other financing offers include no-cost refinancing, conventional loans, and FHA construction loans. If you're thinking of building your dream custom home, there's no time like the present to start building. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com. Let them build your dream home. They're building dream homes one at a time.
Our state is facing a budget shortfall, left over by the last governor. Jeff Landry in the legislature already cut $2 billion for spending we don't need. Now they have to deal with this shortfall, but they've got a plan to deal with that and move Louisiana forward. This is what Governor Landry said.
This Louisiana Forward Plan, when fully implemented by the legislature and ratified by the people of this state, will produce more jobs, a greater prosperity, lower our taxes, and bring us a sustainable budget.
This plan cuts taxes for the middle class and all taxpayers, with the income tax rate dropped to just 3%. Job creators can grow the economy with lower taxes. Families and senior citizens, no more prescription drug sales tax. A different tax system which focuses on choices, not labor. And the Louisiana voters, we get the final say. Fixing the shortfall, cutting taxes, growing our economy, now that's moving Louisiana forward. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
Everywhere you turn.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's 844-766-6607. I'm honored to have Dr. Kevin Roberts for a few more minutes. The new book, Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America. You know, Dr. Roberts, I looked at, and in your book, I'm talking about current stuff, but I think that's what your book's kind of covering. You're looking back so we can have a different future. Is that pretty much what we're doing here?
Yeah, that's right. The book starts with a real realistic diagnosis of where we are. And in particular, what I focus on, Moon, is that the United States, by every measure, is weaker in 2024 than it was, say, in 1984. Mm-hmm. Even though the elites in Washington and New York and Brussels tell us that everything's hunky-dory, well, they tell us that because they're accruing power for their own benefit against the ordinary American. And I explain, because that's, of course, the short version of the story of the American Revolution, that this is part of our DNA. It doesn't matter where your people are from, how or why they came to this great republic, but it's incumbent on every generation to deal with reality truthfully. And the reality about the United States, even with the election win, is that we have a lot of work to do. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, what I'm trying to do is use some episodes from history along with the kind of policy work that Heritage does. So there's a battle plan there for what we do with state policy and federal policy to encourage Americans not to give up. Now, the timing of all this is providential because I think a lot of Americans are more encouraged after Election Day than they were going into it. But now it's even more important for us to put pedal to the metal and actually get these policies done, not just in Washington and not just in Baton Rouge, as your great governor is doing, but also across our police juries, across our school boards, at the local level as well, because often as conservatives, we forget about the importance of local politics.
You know, and I think you're 100% right, but I did see, I told the audience 6 months, a year leading up, I saw all fear. And now I see more hope than I've ever seen. I ran into a car dealer. It's just a little something. There's a guy up northeast Louisiana that sells golf carts. And he hadn't sold one in a month or two leading up to the election. After the election on Wednesday, he sold out. True story. Every single one of them had to start ordering and everything. They just sold out. Optimism. I had a guy yesterday when I was working out in a car dealership right here in Lafayette. And he said, how's it going? He said, man, great now. I said, we were talking about the election. He said, man, he said, it's great. He said, he told me 2 weeks ago, he said, man, we're just struggling. And he said, sold 40 cars 2 days after the election. He said, and what I'm saying is it's going back to what you're saying. The hope, man, if you ain't got hope, hope's everything. Hope in Christ is first. But the Lord allows some things to happen for us to have some other hope. And I see the hope now. I mean, it's like unbelievable hope in people's lives and people that understand we're about to lose this country.
No, that's right. And you know, I, of course, use the episode of Francis Scott Key, September 14th, 1814. He's sitting actually on a British ship during the Battle of Fort McHenry. He's on a British ship because he's an expert hostage negotiator. He's trying to negotiate a prisoner exchange. And we all know the story, what inspires him to write our national anthem and that famous phrase, Dawn's Early Light, which I borrow for the phrase for the title of my book. But when he peers through the fog of war, in the literal fog, in the late summer outside Baltimore, and he sees the Stars and Stripes, he's inspired, but he's not convinced that the country is going to win the battle. And that's my point to all of our Americans is, yeah, we ought to be optimistic. We ought to be buying golf carts and cars. But the most important thing we can do every day is thank our Lord for another day on earth. And right after that, thank him for the opportunity to wake up in the greatest country in the history of this world. But that we also have to go fight for it right now. Donald Trump doesn't just need great cabinet secretaries. No. He doesn't just need Mike Johnson and John Thune to help him. He needs people like you and me and your audience to go out and fight for these policies.
I got to give you one funny, and I'll let you go. You ready? So, as you know, I got a special need daughter, Maddie. And my audience may be hearing this for the first time. So, Maddie's 28 now. But when Maddie, back in the school days, and this is, I don't know, she was 12, 13 years old, they were studying Francis Scott Key, okay? The national anthem, all the stuff that you just talked about. Well, I know you probably remember a representative named Francis Thompson. And Maddie listens to my program. I don't know if that's a blessing or not, but she listens to my program. So Maddie, we were going over some test questions. And one of them was who wrote the national anthem, who wrote the national anthem. And so I promise you, she's sitting there and goes, I said, Maddie, who wrote the national anthem? She said, Francis Thompson. And look, she caught herself. My producer's laughing because he's my son. She caught herself and busted out laughing and put her hands over her mouth because she knew what she had said. And look, me and my bride, Tanya, we were falling out laughing. And Tanya ran into Francis Thompson and told him one time, he just fell out laughing. He said, well, tell Boo to get off me and she won't make a mistake like that.
Yeah. Well, he would appreciate that of all people. What a great story. And, you know, thanks for telling that. But also, it's a reminder, as I'm trying to remind all these folks I'm talking to. I was at Princeton University last night talking not just to some conservative students, but some liberal students. And I said, look, the advice I have for y'all is to go to church, but also regain your sense of humor. Y'all aren't laughing enough. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a sign that people believe that we're optimistic and that the American dream is alive.
If you're a Christian in this country, a born-again Christian, you ought to be optimistic because you know how it ends. That's my optimism every day. I love life. I thank people like you. Y'all keep me going. I promise you, and I appreciate it. Last thing, let you go. I know you got to go. Recess appointments for Trump. And just going back to that real quick, and I want to do the book and get you out of here. There's nothing wrong with that. I read and I heard or read Ronald Reagan did about 260 or 70. I think it was Reagan. Recess appointments because what he had to deal with, about 30 a year. And I don't want people to get too caught up in that like he's doing something wrong. It's been done many, many, many times, and almost every president has used it at some time.
Oh, completely. Reagan's done it. Every president in the modern era has done it, and it's thoroughly constitutional. And it is something that President Trump is going to have to do because it's what presidents do have to do if they want to fill the government with people in some key vacant positions. I think it's also really important that President Trump do what he's doing and what the vice president-elect is doing, which is try to avoid doing that for the biggest appointments, not because it's unacceptable, but because it will just give those people a permanent job or, at least a long-term job.
Yeah. All right. Give us the book title again, where they can get it. I'll let you go. And Dr. Roberts, as always, you've been great. And God bless you. Hope the book does well. And I hope Heritage Foundation's around for a long time.
Thank you. Book title is Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America. It's inspired by what you, my friend, talk about every day. Make a great Thanksgiving and Christmas gift.
Yep, no doubt about it. All right, Dr. Roberts, God bless you, brother, and hopefully we'll do it again. If we don't talk to you again, have a happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, good New Year, and all the good stuff goes with it.
Yeah, you too. I'll check in sometime before Christmas.
All right, that sounds great. Awesome. All right, thank you, sir.
God bless you.
All right, God bless you. Yeah, Francis. I don't know if I ever told that story on there about Frances Thompson. You had to, and you know what's funny? Maddie realized what she had said, and she fell out laughing and put her hand over her mouth, falling out laughing. And Frances Thompson wrote the national anthem. I'm surprised Frances didn't take that and run with that. Oh, one other thing. I hate to bring this up. I've brought this up so many times. People are sick of it, I know. So I'm reading Tyler Bridges' article about, all this stuff that we're talking about in Baton Rouge. And I'm going to read one paragraph, and it's wrong. And I text him. Tell him this is wrong, this is a lie, quit printing this. John Bel Edwards pushed through a 1-cent sales tax increase in 2016 just after taking office when he had to close the $2 billion budget deficit he inherited from his predecessor, Bobby Jindal. All that's a lie. Now, the lie it's not a lie he put 1 cent, but they lied about the $2 billion, and he lied that he inherited it. He voted for 6 of 8 Bobby Jindal's budgets. 6 of the first 7. I don't count the last one. He was running for governor. He voted for all them budget deficits. He caused the problem. I said before, my truck note, and I don't have one right now, but when I get a truck note and I put my name on it, that's my truck note. I signed off. Bel Edwards was Bobby Jindal's floor leader. Tyler Bridges and the rest of them, I'll forget that, but Old Moon won't. Oh, no, I ain't going to forget it. That 1 cent sales tax was horrible then. And I ain't impressed with it now. But I'm going to sit back and see if it's going to work like they said. That 1 cent sales tax should have never been put on us. The 0.45 should have never been put on us. I'm just saying, but it was never a budget deficit of $2 billion. So I fired it off to Tyler. Said, this is wrong. Quit printing stuff like that. Or come on the show. Bring somebody with you and prove we had a $2 billion budget deficit. I'd like to let them prove me that I'm wrong. So I asked Tyler, I told Tyler when he came to do a story on me in the summer, I said, hey, what about, he said, I need to check into that. When. So if you see Tyler Bridges asking him, Moon's waiting for the $2 billion budget. See Bellboy and Jay Darden, tell him, I'm waiting. All right, we got to take a break. You're listening to the Moon Reform Show.
Did you know the average
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studios.
War crimes in Gaza. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The White House says it fundamentally disagrees with a decision by the International Criminal Court to issue arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, accusing them of, among other things, using starvation as a method of warfare in the fight against Hamas militants. Fox's Trey Yingst.
Israeli officials are already pushing back against these warrants, but the ICC also issued a warrant for a man named Mohammed Def, the former leader of Hamas's Al-Qassam brigades. What's important to note here, Mohammed Def is dead, and it's not clear why the ICC would release an arrest warrant for someone who is dead.
Now, the court says it's in no position to say if he really was killed in an Israeli airstrike. It would be an escalation if it turns out to be true that Russia used a new weapon there.
The Ukrainian Air Force said early this morning that Russia attacked the city of Dnipro with an intercontinental ballistic missile. President Volodymyr Zelensky adding that the weapon's speed and altitude made them think that was the case. It would have been the first time Russia had used such a missile in this conflict. But Western and US officials are briefing news outlets that this assessment appears to be incorrect. They add they're still examining the evidence. ICBMs have ranges in the thousands of miles and are designed to deliver nuclear warheads. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Thanksgiving's a week from today, and it's expected to be the busiest travel season ever at airports.
We know everyone wants to get to their final destination as quickly as possible. Our priority is to get you there safely.
FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker.
While every day between now and Thanksgiving will be very busy, Tuesday is forecasted to be our busiest day.
More than 18 million passenger screenings are expected next Tuesday through the following Monday. The actor Jussie Smollett's disorderly conduct conviction for a hate crime hoax is overturned by the Illinois Supreme Court. He spent 6 days in jail, then went free pending appeal. The sentence was 150 days. America's listening to Fox News.
Central banks worldwide are sending a signal. They're buying gold at record prices because they need to. The massive debt Trump is inheriting, the uncertainty. Think about it. Just visit noblegoldinvestments.com now and use promo code TRUMP. You'll get up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with a qualifying account. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Have you ever thought about the causes, the brands that you support stand behind? Well, Pure Talk, my cell phone company, supports veterans. They've relieved $10 million in veterans' debt, donated tens of thousands of dollars monthly to prevent veteran suicide, donated $50,000 to Micro Works, and that helps provide scholarships to veterans after active duty. Dial pound 250, say the keyword save now. Do it now. You save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Every day at 5 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, it's me, Joe Cunningham, with The Joe Cunningham Show, offering you news, analysis, and commentary you're not going to get anywhere else. The big news stories of the day, and even some of the headlines you may not be aware of. It's your local, state, and national news coverage from a local perspective right here. Every day, News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Check us out, The Joe Cunningham Show, every day at 5 p.m.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is always great to be with you on a Friday eve. The Moon Griffon Show, 844-766-6607 is the number. Really enjoy talking to Dr. Kevin Roberts. Just a really smart guy. He's a Lafayette guy, Louisiana guy that's heading up the Heritage Foundation. Tony Perkins heads up the family deal. And then you got Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. Man, there's a lot of Louisiana influence going on out there. All good guys. And so that's a lot of Louisiana influence. We got Scalise is second in charge. We got Psycho Bill, too. Dang it, I didn't mean to throw a negative out there, folks. Psycho Bill raising money for a big defeat that's coming. 844-766-6607. Somebody made a good point. They said, man, we ought to be discussing how much government we need and what it looks like. All we're doing is discussing how we're going to pay for it and what we have now. Talking about state government, Louisiana tax reform. Randy, that's what I've been saying for a while. I think without cuts, real spending cuts in government, which I've been saying. I told us the governor, told him on the air. I don't see how you get there, but let me just give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, they said we're going to get there. Let's see if we get there. And if you got a spending problem and the government got a spending problem, then that's where you got to go. You got to go to where the problem is. You can't, if your car got a starter problem, you're not going to change the tires and get there. And you can't swap them either. That's the only point I've been trying to make on all this. But listen, there are going to be a lot of victories claimed, and let's see what happens. And once again, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I'm trying to understand it, and I can't understand it. Like an example, why should we have a budget? Why should we have a post-COVID budget when all this money poured in? When what we ought to be focused is on a pre-COVID budget. State and federal. That's just my opinion. You ain't got to agree with it. Part of what hurt General was, General had a post-Katrina Rita budget, and got hurt. Bill Edwards wouldn't have voted for all that stuff he did. We might not have had a budget deficit because he was a floor leader for general. He was voting for all of it and getting Democrats to vote for it, too. Remember, they had fiscal hawks on the general who were not voting with him. They had to go get Democrats to vote for that. And Bill Edwards was the leader, but Bill Edwards keeps getting credit that he turned around a budget deficit of $2 billion, which is a lie. Think this. So, that's all I'm saying. And by the way, I agree. I agree. So, anyway, it's a challenge. I knew it would be a challenge. Everybody says you got to eat an elephant, you got to eat one piece at a time, and I get it. But, man, just that, once again, in defense of Landry in this way, he inherited every bit of this from Bell and Edwin Edwards. So it is what it is. And I know that everybody talks about Huey Long, we talk about Edwin Edwards, and all that ought to be negative. When somebody mentions John Hilario to me, I just laugh. That wasn't a leader. He didn't change anything or straighten anything or fix anything. Landry comes along, and there's some things we want him to do, some things I agree, some I don't. But the first time we ever even looked at this, now that it's out in the open, maybe that's going to be a good thing. You notice I said maybe. I would love to see him take this commission they put together with 4 senators and 4 House members and 1 czar, and I'd love to see him make all the private sector come in and look at it. All private sector. People, business people, CPAs, let them go in there and look at every penny where every penny's spent. I don't think anybody has the guts to do that, but that's what I would do. If I was the governor, I'd find some body to come in here and look at everywhere we spent money for 30 or 40 years. Now, I'll never get to be governor, folks, because I couldn't win. But if I was the governor, that's what I would do. I'd put people in there that would go dollar for dollar and find out where all this money's been going. And just tell us the truth. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to find out what the truth is. And I think when we find out the truth, we wasted a lot of money on the money bags and people like that are tied up to the good old boy network system. We had a lot of people get money they should have never been able to touch. And I think over 30, 40 years, it would be in the billions and billions of dollars. Tens of billions of dollars. So that's what I would do. Now, once again, I'm never going to get to be governor. Nobody's ever going to vote for me for governor. If I ran for governor, I'd get smashed and smushed and beat the hell back. I'd be beat so bad it would be laughable. Because there are people out there that want to listen. This is something I don't think we understand. There are people that prosper a lot from the way we're set up in Louisiana. And it's individuals, it's some businesses, some people, some politicians, some people associated with politicians. They love the way Louisiana's set up because they know if it stays like this, they're gonna keep making a fortune. Oh yeah. Well, they got one right there. Look, she can stand up. It won't hurt her to stand up. Tim said make her stand up. It's good for her back. She gonna go McKee. You got to go to break a McKee. So it's very simple. It's very, very simple, I think, to fix. I think we make it hard to fix because of the way it's been set up. I'll say it again to Jeff and to the legislature. If you really feel good about this, celebrate it. I have no problem with that. Celebrate it, brag about it. I just want to feel it and see it. Somebody said the problem with the elephant scenario, he said after we eat one elephant, there's 2 more waiting. And he's right. We eat an elephant. We eat an elephant, and it takes a while. Once we eat that sucker, we look up after you burp, you go, you've got to be joking, right? We got to eat those 2 big puppies too. And that's what happens in the process. So, I don't know. All right, no, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let Karen come in now. Karen, get that microphone. How you doing, ma'am? I'm good. Good morning. Okay, you got on walk? Now I got you. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good to say. Well, Tim sent the first team in this time.
That's right. Right. He needed a break.
Tim Metcalf, of course, with our friends at Prejean's and Dino's Pizza. What you got today? By the way, it smells good. I ain't got a bite yet. It
smells great. Today I brought you guys the pizza of the month, the blackened shrimp.
Ask Walker. Hold up. I'm not even going to look at it. Okay. Ask Walker what he had last night where we ate.
What you had last night? That? Awesome. I love it.
So we had to eat where?
I love it at Dino's. Pizza like no other.
I'm telling you. And then what's the else?
And then I also brought Buddha and queso. This will be our last week for this.
That's sinful.
And then Ross in the kitchen decided to send our general manager decided to send you some boneless bites, the chicken bites, and we had the array of sauces.
I'd say you got about 9 sauces.
We have ranch, fire sauce, buffalo, garlic parmesan, the jalapeno cane, and barbecue.
I'll never get a bite if Walker gets it into that garlic parmesan.
Oh,
I'm just telling you right now. You know, Karen, this is a big time of year. Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'm y'all close Thanksgiving Day?
We are closed Thanksgiving Day.
But leading up that night, y'all will be busy because they got a lot of family in.
Absolutely. We plan on the Wednesday being like a Friday.
Yeah.
So we're going to be staffed up. We have plenty of rooms at all.
And then Friday's going to be like a Friday too.
Friday's be like a Friday. We have plenty
It's amazing. Yep. You go eat your turkey, and everybody piles up and eat a sandwich that night. The next day, everybody's ready to go out to eat.
Everybody's hungry again.
Yeah.
And, they don't want to stay home and eat because they've had all this already. Yeah. They'll eat leftovers during the weekend, but that Friday, they'll hit us again.
Okay, something else, and I'm including Prejean's on all this, too. Yes, Prejean's and Dino's. A lot of catering going on. Some people want to book caterings. They need to go and do it now, right?
They sure can. They do. Do it now. Do it as soon as you know about it. And we'll be happy to take care of you.
The other thing I want people to know, so you got these little company parties where they got 10 and 20 and 30, and they let y'all know, or shorter than that, they let y'all know you can accommodate them. Got some adjustment, but you can accommodate.
Absolutely. We sure can.
Because you got rooms at Prejean's and the Dino's.
We have it at all of the properties. We sure do.
Yeah, so and catering is a big deal for you.
It really is, yeah.
Tim told me y'all were making an unbelievable amount of gumbo at Prejean's right now.
We are. We are. And then after today, this weekend, watch out. It'll be even more.
Well, you get this cold weather coming in.
It is.
I told him, I said, Tim, when I think of Prejean's, I think of more of seafood. And he's right. He said, but y'all had a special. It's been a month or two now. I'll go over there for lunch. And it was gumbo with, I think, potato salad.
Right.
I said, I never tried it. Y'all brought it here and never tried it. Now I eat it every time. And I went over there and ate it, and I thought, oh, my God, this is delicious. And he said it was different at Prejean's.
It is. It's different. Dino's is different from Prejean's.
And it's good.
It's really good gumbo.
Yeah. I like when you have a special when it's cold.
Yeah, exactly. This past Monday, it wasn't quite cold enough, but we had baked potato soup. And
By
I'm
the way,
telling you, that sold out.
I sat down with 3 guys Monday, and I did the healthy pizza at Ashley's because I wanted but all 3 of them got the potato soup. And I told them when they got it, they said, man, that looks good. I said, it is. I ate it the last time they had it.
It is good.
That's something you could have on a menu almost every day in the winter.
You're right.
I'm not telling you to do that. It ain't like your menu's not big already.
Enough, right?
Yeah,
plenty of options. Plenty of options.
Dino'sPizza.com, Prejean's.com.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to tell people?
Just gear up for the holidays. We have special gift card sales going on at Dino's where we you buy at least $40 in gift cards and you get a free T-shirt, a special one printed again for this year. And then at Prejean's, we have lots of merchandise there too, gift cards available that make a great gift.
I was going to tell people too, if you walk into Prejean's, y'all got freezers in the front that get gumbo and all that
gumbo,
stuff.
Etouffee, even red beans and rice. The red beans, not the rice, but really great.
Well, no, but that's great pickup items for people when you go to somebody's house or somebody's coming to yours.
Bring it over, yeah.
So Prejean's.com, Dino'sPizza.com, folks. They've been around forever. I tell people y'all been around forever because I forget the number of years.
50, what?
So, 50? Saw Mr. Dean the other day, and he's still getting around, but he still got that fancy mouth.
He does.
He's still
that's
pretty
a nice
slick.
way to put it.
No,
yes,
and if he's listening, I mean, that's a compliment, but he's always ready to say something.
He really is.
Her name is Karen Metcalf. Tim Metcalf's better 2/3. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go nowhere.
The biggest complaint about solar power is the battery storage. Well, no more. Now, Solar Louisiana offers giant battery storage solutions from the top names like Panasonic, LG, and more. Solar Louisiana will install residential home solar systems with enough battery storage to get you through any outages. And say goodbye to your electric bill, as Solar Louisiana will custom fit a system to your electrical needs. Online at solarlouisiana.net. Your energy independence company, Solar Louisiana.
If you've got some projects to do around the house and you need the voice of experience, of local voice, somebody that can help you and knows Louisiana, you need to check out Stein Home and Yard. They're a Louisiana company, founded, established here. They've been based here. Their story dates back all the way to 1946. Stein Home and Yard has all the things you need to make your house ready for fall. Great deals on fall plants like mums, as well as all sorts of handy items you need for your house. Need to upgrade your power tool game? They've got great deals on DeWalt power tools. They also have great deals on grills for your next tailgate for the big game this weekend. Traeger pellet grills, Weber grills, Charbroil, so many great brands, and it's all right there at your fingertips. Just pull them up, steinhome.com. Steinhome.com is where you need to go to find the greatest deals on your home improvement needs. Steinhome.com, a great Louisiana company.
Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh, every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good. If you're selling a business... Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I have known him for years. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a day. Great to be with you. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's an opportunity for you to be a voice. You can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. All righty. So, folks, this one story should bother America. As we know, I'll stick to Trump was cheated big time. Now that I looked at Biden getting 15 million more votes on the average than Harris, Clinton, Obama, Ellie Obama, we know now. And Pennsylvania has been caught. Pennsylvania was one of them swing votes, one of them places they stopped counting the votes. I'm telling y'all, if Donald Trump wants to save America, he will go to these swing states and he will make them investigate 2020. Not every state, just in those swing states. Because have y'all been watching what's going on in Pennsylvania, how these people are squirming now, admitting right now they were trying to cheat for Bob Casey? Pennsylvania Democrat official apologized for comments about ignoring election laws. See, you go and cheat. If you get caught, you say, I'm sorry, we did it wrong. But see, when Trump won in 20, nobody wanted to stand up with Donald Trump. They all ran away. Supreme Courts in Pennsylvania included. They all stuck with it. And nobody did a real thorough investigation into it. Democratic election official in Pennsylvania offered an impassioned apology Wednesday for claiming precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country to justify counting about 600 faulty ballots in defense of the state Supreme Court. So the state Supreme Court said you will not count the ballots where they have no signatures. They don't have two signatures. They have to be thrown out. They didn't do this in 2020. Guarantee you, if they still got those ballots hanging around, they could go back and probably prove a million of those or better that they cheated on. There's no doubt in my mind now. The Republicans were ready this time, and in Pennsylvania become a mail-in voting ballot, and they've cheated. And this woman here ought to be fired. Then she ought to be put in jail. I didn't know if you get caught and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I won't do it again. Well, I shot somebody. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. She got busted. The only reason she's apologizing is because she got caught. They should have got caught last time. The people should go. There are hundreds of thousands of people who ought to go to jail what they did in 2020 and what they tried to do this time in Pennsylvania. The passion in my heart got the best of me, and I apologize again for that. Buck County Commissioner Diane Ellis said in front of a fiery crowd at a county meeting, "Oh, y'all forgive me. I shouldn't have." Well, why'd you do it? And what did you do in 2020? Because they did the same thing. Nobody fought for Trump at the level that they needed to fight him for. Oh, Trump just cried about it. I saw Bill Clinton. I saw a clip. I can't believe it was Clinton, old Slick Willie. You see, Harris and them just did a smooth transition. Biden just did a smooth transition. Trump didn't do that. Trump didn't do it because he knew he got stolen. Bill Clinton, what a joke. She stood up in front of the county and said, "I made a mistake because I'm an elected official. I'm held to a higher standard than anybody else." You know, folks, that's a lie. We don't hold our elected officials to a higher standard. They hold you and me to a higher standard. They figure out how to get out of it. The woman defied the Supreme Court. She defied the judges. She defied them. Then she said, "Well, I'm sorry." In other words, just do what you want to do and apologize later. Because they're not going to do nothing to this woman. So to the citizens I serve, I apologize. I will continue to work hard for you and endeavor not make such a mistake again. Folks, it was designed. They tried to steal that for Casey even today, and we had 2020 to fall back on. And I'm telling you, I'm in a different mindset than a lot of people. Well, we won. Let's move on. No, sir. You don't move on. You figure out what happened. I think it's very important they go figure out what happened. Then she started saying, "Well, I'm receiving curse words, laden criticism, and death threats." I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. I want to know what you did and cheated and tell us what happened in 2020. They get to apologize and move on. Shouldn't happen, folks. Pennsylvania is a great example of what they're doing. We'll be right back. I've been bragging about Dino Hardwoods for a long time. My good friend Charles Altman, they do an excellent job. And if you're looking for unique or hard-to-find hardwood lumber, plywood, and molding, it's Dino Hardwoods. That's where you need to go. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Trust Dino Hardwoods for all your hardwood lumber and cypress needs. With the holiday season fast approaching, as you know, a timeless handmade gift using quality lumber by Dino just means more. With 3 great locations to serve you now, Broussard, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and now he's expanded in Tyler, Texas. Folks, there's something for every discerning woodworker at Dino. Go to DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com, and check out the unique and hard-to-find hardwood, lumber, plywood, and molding that you can't just find anywhere. Charles Altman, trust me, is not a better man in the business. He knows what he's doing, and he wants to service you. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com.
My husband and I were invited to a 50th wedding anniversary. I noticed this little lady, and she was basically sitting alone. Her daughter turned to me just as I came over to introduce myself, and she said, "My mother has Alzheimer's." She had not said her daughter's name in 2 years. She didn't recognize her. I said, "Listen, we might be able to help her." And about 3 weeks later, they show up. We gave her 5 days of treatment. This lady, each day got a little better and a little better. She started flirting with the guys. She was so cute. My friend said, "You're smiling a lot." And she said, "They make those here." The next day, says out loud, "Martha, would you get me a cup of coffee, please?" Her daughter, Martha, breaks down crying because her mother hadn't said her name in 2 years.
Learn more about treatment for Alzheimer's at SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com. Springfield Wellness Center.
Do you crave
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. time out. What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Louisiana.
This message presented by the LHSAA and the Louisiana High School Athletic Directors Association.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. It is a great day to be with you. It is a Friday Eve on the Moon Griffon Show. You know, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. You can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Listen, and I've talked to people, and there are some people that disagree. They think we ought to just move on about the 2020 election. The reason I think it's a bad mistake is because we had people who cheated, stole, and lie. You can't let the bad people get away. What they did to Trump in that election is pathetic. They still tried to do it this election, but they were busted. All the ladies got to do is say, I'm sorry, but everybody's talking bad about me and I'm getting threats and everything else. I'm not saying anybody ought to do that. I didn't condone that. But let's throw that out the way, and let's talk about what you did. How can they get away the left and the down? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was doing it wrong. And I'll bet you they counted so many ballots in Pennsylvania in 2020 that didn't have the proper signatures. And that's what the Supreme Court said. You can't count those ballots. And the Supreme Court told them not to, and they did it anyway. How hard is that? You cannot count those ballots. They count them and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, you did, because you were trying to steal an election for Casey. That's what you were doing. If that's against the law and against the rules and against the integrity of the voting, why did you even do it? I mean, you that smart? Are you that stupid? No, they're not. They just apologize. I'm going to do better next time, and I hope y'all forgive me and give me a little leeway next time. And that's basically what she said. Well, I give Republicans credit. They wanted it, and the Supreme Court could not embarrass themselves because let me tell you what, folks. Trump won. Trump won last time. Trump won all them states last time. The reason they want this election to move on, it's just a nice, easy flow, and Trump wins, and it's going to be a nice transition. Why? They don't want nobody to go back to 2020. It wouldn't be hard. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. What was the other one? Wisconsin. You know, it wouldn't be hard to go back and check it out. They're not supposed to eliminate those records and get rid of them. And if you got all these mail-in ballots stacked somewhere, let's go look at them. Send 200 lawyers into Pennsylvania. Let the feds rile up and say, we're going to look at ballots for 2020. You'll be able to tell if there's cheating going on. That's why they want everything smooth. So we move with Trump won. What do y'all want? Y'all won. Y'all got it. Okay. And what do? They make you say it's a smooth transition. Trump didn't do that, but they don't say that. It's just a smooth transition because they don't want nobody looking at what happened in 2020. This is where Republicans and conservatives mess up. Well, man, we won the election. Okay. So now use the power to find out if Trump was cheated in 2020. The media's going, oh, I can't believe they do it. No big deal. We're going to take what the Supreme Court ruled as ballots that are should not be counted. They're illegal ballots. And all we're going to do is go look and see if we can find some illegal ballots. They come across 1 million illegal ballots. They cheated. You find out who was in charge of all these places where these illegal ballots were counted. You prosecute the hell out of them. That's what needs to happen. Prosecute the hell out of them for what they did and let them get on the stand. Well, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You know what the rules are. You talk about how smart you are. You're in a position of integrity. I mean, we're talking about voting. What you mean you didn't know? I'm sorry. I didn't want to. The Supreme Court told this woman quit counting, and she kept counting. So we're supposed to forgive her, and then, I got death threats, and people are hollering at me. So we're supposed, leave her alone. She's okay. Let's don't do anything to her. And I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about from the law. Throughout the apology, the packed room, which included many supporters of President-elect Trump, heckled Ellis, and some held on signs that said tyrant. Others called for a resignation. Prosecution accused her of trying to court illegal votes to help Democrat hold on to United States Senate seat. Guys, listen. Why are we letting this go? The president doesn't have to do it. He just got to order. He's got to just get the attorney general to go get him. You know? They need to go get him. I'm telling you, the dumbest thing we can do is this woman's already put her foot in her mouth and her rear end and everywhere else. Just go, okay, you don't want to do the 6 states, start with 1. Go to Pennsylvania. See what happened in 2020, mail-in ballots. Go to Georgia. There's a whole movie out on what happened in Georgia. They show it to you. They show you bringing ballots at 2 and 3 and 4 morning. The polls closed at 7. I just think I could take Pennsylvania and say, well, don't go to Georgia, man. Him and Kemp made up. Say, Kemp don't want that to come out either, and I guarantee the Secretary of State don't. I'd start in Pennsylvania. I'd send 500 attorneys and people that understand the process. I'd send as many as I needed to send. I'd have people down there looking at ballots, and every time they came across one that was bad, put that sucker on the side, and I would say, we're going to find out how many, and I bet you'll find it was way beyond the margin of victory. And see, here's the thing, folks. We had to put up with President Biden for 4 years, stocking the federal judges, putting federal judges on these benches that think like Barack Obama, who hates this country. It's no telling how many hundreds of federal judges he put on the docket. We had to put up with the Green New Deal. Now embedded, a total lie, a 100% lie on climate change. 100% lie. We had to put up, and Psycho Bill Cassidy's running out, I got money. And we watched our inflation and things skyrocket because of that, because that guy was put in that office. We had to watch them try to put little boys and girls' bathrooms. Now we got surgery of cutting off the little boys' private parts at 10 and 11 years old. We had to watch all this wokeism through the universities and protests. All this designed because Biden is the president of the United States. But if he got there illegally, we had to watch him put a Supreme Court justice on there. She's as woke can get. Would have never been on there. And when Donald Trump went in the first time, he did a lot of good things. He was naive because some of the things he didn't know, but he knows this time. The president has to go back to 2020. He has to let the media nut up. If they didn't do anything wrong, what are they worried about? But you saw it in this process right here. Democratic Pennsylvania election official apologized for controversial comments as Senate recounts begin. And the Supreme Court said, nope, you're not counting illegal votes. Democrat Pennsylvania election official delivers a apology for claiming court president doesn't matter. She told him the court president doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what y'all think. It doesn't matter anymore in this country. I'm just saying, why would you let this go, guys? Ladies and gents, this is the kind of stuff that can change America for the better. And there ought to be people locked up all over this country for what they did in 2020. And Trump wasn't nuts. And J6 wasn't as big a deal as they made, and Bill Cassidy, Psycho Bill, got rid of the man, impeached the guy for no reason to go along with his other nutty buddies. He went along with his nutty. You know what we ought to do? We ought to send some nutty buddies to Bill Cassidy. If I had a bet, I'd put ice cream and name it under Bill Cassidy, I'd name it Nutty Buddy. And he got nutty buddies in the Senate, and they went along to impeach Trump. And we were supposed to get from Cassidy, well, you just wait till I get that information and show you. Y'all ain't going to believe this. And I ain't seen it yet. It's been 4 years. I'm waiting for Cassidy to pull. Why didn't Cassidy pull it out during the presidential election and go around the state of Louisiana against Donald Trump and show us how crazy he was? You didn't hardly see Cassidy, did you? Wonder why. Where was Bill? Last time Trump run, Cassidy was on the ballot, and every commercial was Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Where's Bill at this time? Anybody know? Just waiting for old Bill to show up with his Trump commercial. That'd be psycho. So anyway, they do what they want to do, but I'm telling you right now, if I'm the president of the United States, and I'm not, I started Pennsylvania. Once you bust Pennsylvania up, you can go bust a couple of them up. Because I guarantee they're doing this in all of them, especially with these Democrats. You know, in Oregon, it's all mail-in ballots now. What the hell you think they're doing? Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. If you got a comment, you're welcome to call the Matthew James Business and Tax Reduction Hotline.
It started with direct messages. That's how they got to my son. Gavin was just 17 and looking forward to college. He was contacted by online predators pretending to be a teenage girl. He was the victim of sexual extortion. In less than 2 hours after that first message, Gavin died by suicide. It's a pain I don't want any other parent to feel. Social media is causing an epidemic of bullying, anxiety, and depression, and it's leaving kids vulnerable to the kind of predators that targeted my son. We have to hold big tech accountable and pass the Kids Online Safety Act. I couldn't protect my son, but now it's my mission to make sure all kids are protected. I'm a father and a proud conservative, and I'm here to tell Speaker Johnson, pass the Kids Online Safety Act, because nothing is more important than protecting our kids.
Paid for by Issue One Action, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. IssueOneAction.org.
Nestled in gently rolling hills in North Louisiana is a place that produces the finest Louisiana wines around. Landry Vineyards. This place is phenomenal. Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyards wine, they also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, and live music on Saturdays and tastings Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana, I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine direct from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. A red blend they labeled Bayoutage, Blackberry Merlot, Cabs, Rosé, Petite Syrah, dry and sweet whites, and many, many other wines. Learn more about their wines and their vineyard online at LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. My lovely bride and I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. If they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. Woo, good wine right here.
Give me the VIN.com.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Here's the number. It's a Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. All right, so I told y'all the story about after Trump won. I could give you the car dealership here. I ran into him working out. This was yesterday I saw him. This past weekend I was in Monroe in Northeast Louisiana. I told you, when Trump won, the guy saw all of his golf carts. And I told you about the car dealership here that said they sold 40 vehicles the next 2 days because of the optimism. Now, somebody wants to take a shot at me, and that's fine. Say, what a crock. I heard the SHIT you was spitting out about the golf cart and the car sales. Must have been in some other state because in this state, Governor Landry put out ads that are lies. That is not what I was talking about. I was not talking about Landry, and I was not talking about the governor. I was not talking about that. I was talking about Trump's win, and I told that to Dr. Roberts of the optimism that I've seen in people's face. Now, look, I saw the fear, too. I've been telling y'all that. I don't know why this cat here wants to say crock or none of that is. I'm just telling you what they told me. 2 businesses that I know this has happened to. There's other businesses that can call the same thing that people felt more optimistic, but it was optimistic about Trump's win. It had nothing to do with the governor. You know? So, I mean, you can write whatever you want to me. I don't care. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can disagree with me. Say it's a crock and all that. I'll tell you what they told me. And by the way, neither one of them are advertisers of mine, and neither one of them had to tell me anything. I've been hearing some stories, and those are the 2 main stories that I heard personally from the people that own the businesses. They can throw stuff and call it a crock all you want to. I don't give a rat's rear end, but I know what they told me. Okay? And this had nothing to do with Landry and the governor and what's going on in Baton Rouge. I said when Trump won, everybody knows, everybody feels relief, everybody has optimism now. You know, and Dr. Roberts said it best. Now they got to go do something. You won, now you got to go do something. And once again, I don't care if they take shots at me. I could give a rat's rear, and I'm not running for office, so I don't have to have I don't have to win 50% of a vote. But that's fine. And don't take it personal to the person I'm talking to. I'm not going public with it. But it's kind of crazy to heard the SHIT you was spewing. I didn't spew anything out. I told you the truth. I told you what they told me. Now, if they lied, they got the problem. But I don't think either one of them lied. I just know about moving around this state and visit with people. I'm not a world traveler. I don't get out the state a whole lot. But I just see people and talk to people all the time. And people that say they listen to me. Say maybe they lie, maybe they don't listen to me. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the name because that's just kind of crazy for somebody to fire something stupid like that to me. When what I told you was what they told me. It had nothing to do with advertisement. I saw the ad Jeff ran and all that stuff. Get it. You have a right to believe whatever you want to believe. But don't tell me that what a crock when I'm telling you what I heard. And once again, this was about the Trump victory. Donald Trump victory is what it was about. That was all I was saying. And I was talking to Roberts when I told him that. Okay? Let's see. Alex Jones is reporting breaking on the Constitution 25th Amendment removal of Biden for launch. We're launching World War III would hand power to Congress to remove Kamala Harris as well, reports Dr. Naomi Wolf. Oh, well, I that's not something. That's not something that I can do anything about anyway. It's not. I already told y'all Trump's not the president yet. Anything that would happen between now and Trump being sworn in 2 months, coming mostly from the Democrats, would not surprise me at all. Coming from the world stage, none of that would surprise me. I told you that I didn't believe they would ever let him get to be president again. They tried to kill him. They would do anything for President Trump not to be president. Okay, I'm just telling you, they would. They still will. That's why when I'm seeing Trump at some of these events, I'm going, man, go hide. Somebody said Moon, the person that probably said that probably is a Trump hater. Maybe, I don't know. It don't matter. I just know that I'm optimistic, too. I'm hopeful as heck, too. I really am. Louisiana, I just keep hoping. The federal government, it's a tough run, too. Somebody said, boy, I can just imagine the emails you get from some Looney Tunes. They deserve the government that just got pushed out. I agree. And by the way, listen at my email, I tell people all the time, I learned of new places to put my head. I didn't even know you could put them in there. I either let them go or I just egg them on and they really get mad. All right, folks, winner. Let's see. The winner is, for the pecans, Pam Davis in Greenrose Springs, Louisiana, right out of Baton Rouge. Pam Davis. I'll be honest with y'all. I might have got 1,000 entries already. And the percentage coming out of the Baton Rouge area is like unbelievable. And, you know, we just been back there for the last year or two, a couple of years, and I'm very humble, Guardian, Guarantee Radio Media. I'm just humbled to have this station, but I'm humbled to have all of our stations. Getting stuff from everywhere over the state. I bet you I got 10% of them been out the state. Anyway, Pam Davis, you win. They'll let you know. They'll send them to you with a congratulations. All right, got to take a break, folks. We'll be back. The rest of you leaving us, God bless. MoonGriffon.com. Listen live. 1 more hour to go.
Our state is facing a budget shortfall, left over by the last governor. Jeff Landry and the legislature already cut $2 billion for spending we don't need. Now they have to deal with this shortfall, but they've got a plan to deal with that and move Louisiana forward. This is what Governor Landry said.
This Louisiana Forward Plan, when fully implemented by the legislature and ratified by the people of this state, will produce more jobs, a greater prosperity, lower our taxes, and bring us a sustainable budget.
This plan cuts taxes for the middle class and all taxpayers, with the income tax rate dropped to just 3%. Job creators can grow the economy with lower taxes. Families and senior citizens, no more prescription drug sales tax. A different tax system which focuses on choices, not labor. And the Louisiana voters, we get the final say. Fixing the shortfall, cutting taxes, growing our economy, now that's moving Louisiana forward. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.